Hey guys, just a quick video reminder here about what's expected when we're working with angle theory. Now, what's expected in terms of showing your working is that you will always draw the diagram. Otherwise, your working makes no sense. You need to state the rule that you're going to use in order to find the angles you're looking for, and you're going to set up an equation following that rule to solve it. Here's some angle theory that you should know. So for example, this here, the rule is that it's angles on a straight line. And angles on a straight line add to 180. That's my rule. That is expected for you to write that. Next, I'm going to write an equation based on that rule. That rule tells me that they should add up to 180, so something plus something equals 180. A plus 120 equals 180. That's my equation. Now I need to show the working of how I get A on its own and work out its value. Working, first I take the 120 to the other side. It was plus 120, so now it's minus 120. And A must be equal to 60 then. Here's another bit of angle theory that you should know. Now these are two straight lines that are crossing at one point there. And I've got A, which is opposite to 35. So that's a rule. The rule is that vertically opposite angles are equal. If they're equal, there's really not much working for me to do, but I need to write the equation. The equation is just A equals 35. No work needed, I've already got my answer. The other angle that you've got there though, I've seen a lot of really confusing working when it can be made really, really simple. The rule is that angles on a straight line add to 180. So that is B and 35, they lie on this straight line together. Forget about the rest of the angles, that is one straight line, so those two add to 180. Or if you're trying to figure out what this B is, it also lies on this straight line with 35. So those two angles add to 180. Doesn't matter which one you work out first, but B with the 35 should make 180, or this B with the 35 should make 180. Don't over confuse it by saying all of those points need to add to 360. That's true, but let's keep things simple. If angles on a straight line add to 180, let's just talk about two angles on a straight line, the B and the 35. So that means we can say B plus 35 makes 180. And then showing our working, getting B on its own, I need to move that plus 35 to the other side, making it minus 35. So that's going to be B equals 180 minus 35, which means B must be 145. Now you can check that that will add to 360 if you like. You know that A is 35, you know that B is 145, and you know that this B down here, the same letter, is also 145. You can check that that adds to 360, but it's not necessary to make your working look so confusing. Now here's some more angle theory that we've been over recently. Now these two lines are parallel lines. Really, they should have little arrow markings on them, but I'm telling you now they are parallel lines. So let's work out angles A, B, and C. Starting alphabetically, I'll start with angle A. The rule that I see that links angle A with the angle that I know, not with angle B or angle C, because that's not going to help me to find out something else I don't know. I'll use the angle I know and I see a pattern there. What pattern do I see? The rule. These are corresponding angles. If you see the pattern that I'm talking about, it looks like an upside down F. See this angle here that marks the 45 degrees? Joins with this angle here that marks the angle A, and that makes an upside down F pattern. So that means that these two are corresponding, and if they're corresponding, they're equal. So that's a nice easy equation for me to write. The equation, A equals 45. Again, no work needed, I've already got my answer. So now that I've got A, it really helps having drawn the diagram that you could just label that in there. That's 45. Right, on to B. Now looking at angle B, I could use a rule that links to angle A now that I know what A is, but I'm going to go back and use the original angle that I was given, just in case I made a mistake on this A. So do you see any pattern that links angle B with this angle 45 degrees here? I'm drawing the letter right now. What rule do you see? And that only works because these are parallel lines. The rule is they are alternate angles. They're in a Z pattern. It's a backwards Z, but it's still a Z. And they are equal. So again, my equation is going to be really easy. The equation is just that B is equal to 45. And again, no work needed, I've got my answer. C requires a little bit more working, so looking at angle C here, again, I could use a rule that links it with the B, that being a straight line, or linking it with the A, that makes a straight line as well. but I'm going to try and use a rule that links the angle C with the angle that I am sure is correct, the angle that I was originally given. This 45-degree angle and this C angle, do you notice the pattern that they make? I almost just gave it away. Look the way I'm drawing this. The rule is that they are interior angles and they make this backwards C pattern. So that means that they add to 180. The only two rules about parallel lines is that either the angles are equal or they add to 180, and I can clearly see that C does not look acute like this 45-degree angle. C definitely looks obtuse. So that's a good hint. I'm not going to say C equals to 45, but C and 45 add to 180. So I'll write that equation. The equation C plus 45 equals 180, and the working C on its own would equal to 180 minus the 45, and working that out, C must be 135. Right, last example, and this one's a little bit different because it's not just a straight line, it's not parallel lines, and it's not opposite angles. This is a full turn about one point. We've got one acute angle here and one bigger than 180 degrees, that's a reflex angle, and they need to add together to make this full circle, this full turn. So that's my rule. Angles in a full turn, that adds to 360 degrees, because we know a full turn is 360 degrees. So that's our equation as well. They add to 360. C plus 55 equals 360. And then my working, I need C by itself, so I'll send the 55 across. C equals 360 minus the 55, which means that C is equal to 305. Okay, so now that you know what's expected, there is no excuse for not drawing the diagram, or writing the rule, setting out the equation, or showing me your working.